Hi everyone, it's Kylie here for Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video, which is another one of my Patreon design videos. Now for this month I asked my patrons to give me ideas for a powdered ingredient to add into the soap, and I did also give them a link for some ideas to some powdered extracts that I have been experimenting with. Now everyone put their suggestions in, and the one that got drawn out of the hat came from Michelle. Now Michelle doesn't have her own business at this stage, but I will make sure to update any business information should she decide to start a business up. But what she asked if I could do was to do a soap using some blueberry extract. Now there is no sort of evidence that the blueberry extract is going to remain behind in the soap, but the concentrated sugars that are in this extract should really help boost that lather of this soap, and it's just a nice fun ingredient to use anyway. I do have other ideas for this extract powder which I hopefully will be sharing very soon, but for now what we're going to go and do is see how I made my blueberry cold processed soap and also where the sort of design inspiration came from. Let's go. First thing I'm going to do is do my blueberry powder up into liquid form, and for this I'm going to be using my distilled water. Now I have got my lye solution done up and I'm soaping at my usual 32%. Now when I made the embeds for this I discovered that the fragrance oil accelerated a little bit, so I'm adding an extra 3% of distilled water into this, so I'll actually be soaping at 35%. Now with the blueberry extract, when I read online about it, it says in order to hydrate your blueberry powder, it is done at a rate of 20% powder to 80% water. So I'm measuring out 50 grams of distilled water, and this here is the blueberry extract, and I love the color of this. It's beautiful. I doubt it will come through into the soap. It will possibly lose some of that color. It does make a note that if this goes over 50 degrees Celsius the color begins to break down. So I'm adding in 12.5 grams into my 50 grams of water, and that 12.5 is equivalent to the 20% of the total volume. Just give that a quick stir just to make sure that all of the powder has fully dissolved, and then we'll be ready to pop it into our soap mix. Okay, so our juice is now all mixed in, so what I'm first of all going to do is pour that into my mix here. This should go really nice colour. Give that a bit of a mix. And then we're going to pour in the lye water before splitting it off for some colours. Well, didn't that go an awful colour? Actually, it's not too bad. It means that my other colours won't be distorted by that purple. What I have got in here, I have got some blueberry mica. I'm going to pour off a fair amount of that one. And then in this one here, I have got some, what did we use? I used some High Society from off of Nurture Soap. I'm going to pour off a fair amount in that one because I do want to do some piping with that green afterwards. This one here is another green concoction. I have used some Lime Spider and some yellow neon to do this one. I don't need too much of that one, so we'll go for there. And then this one here, we have got some neon pink. So I'm going to pour off a fair bit in there because again I want to do some piping with this one. And into my main container I have a mix of some Mysterious and some Blue Haven mica. Let me get this one mixed in. So I know these is a really weird color combination here, and I'll get them stirred in a little bit more once we put the fragrance in. But this is the inspiration behind today's soap. I've had this blueberry crumble tea from off T2 in my shed for a while now. Absolutely love the box, and I have a cup of this almost every day. And I'm going for these sort of hot pinks, the lime green, the greens and the blues, and then that real pale sort of blue color for the background. So that was the inspiration behind this color palette. And what I'm using here is some blueberry fragrance from off of Ilux. Now when I did make the embeds to go on the top of this soap, we did get a little bit of acceleration and a little bit of discoloring. So I have actually dropped my amount of fragrance oil back here, and hopefully it will behave on me. In fact, this is, I did get that little bit of acceleration, but this feels like it's just loosened it up a little bit, which is really nice. It does go a slightly darker shade, but it wasn't anything too bad. It just darkened it up, didn't go brown. So I do know that these are all going to go that slightly darker shade, but we will work with that. I just realized I wasn't going to put any fragrance in the pink or the bright green, and I went ahead and did that anyway. Oh well, that is life. We'll just work with that. It does smell really good. This just, all it says as the fragrance description is it smells like blueberries, and it does. It smells really nice and fruity. So I'm going to give all these a really good mix. Alright, so I've given that a good mix in there. It is thickening, but it's not too bad. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is an in the pot swirl, and that will just give me some really nice swirls in the pot. So I'm going to pour most of this green. As I said, I do want to save some of that back for piping, so maybe that will do. Hopefully I've left myself enough. Maybe we'll leave some of the bright green behind as well. Going to pour in almost all of the pink as well, because we do want to leave some of that for piping. That should be enough in there. I think we will leave a little bit of this bright green, because I think I may have done just a wee bit too much of that darker green. And we'll add in all of this blue. Might just save that for the last little bit of the pour, and let's grab the mold. Here we go, and let's pour this in and see what we get. Just going to pour the rest of that blue in here. Before I smooth out the top, I am going to give it a bit of a chopstick swirl. I did think twice about that then, but I'm definitely going to give it that little bit of an extra swirl in there. So hopefully we get some really nice patterns. And now that I've got all of that in there, I'm going to go and get that lot into some piping bags, and then we'll come back and do the top. Okay, so I have got all of the soap into piping bags, and here are the little embeds that I have made. These are some little blueberries. I made the mold for these using some pinky seal. I'll leave the link up in the top corner so you can see how I actually made these molds up. And I poured them out, and then I covered them with a bit of silver mica just to try and give them that frosted look. Now what I'm thinking is, rather than putting my blueberries in first, let's do these pink ones. I'm kind of wanting, if we look at the box, we've got like little pink dots. I'm kind of wanting these to look like little rosettes on the top. So I've probably got too big a tip, but nope, they are looking good. So each of the soap bars will hopefully get a little pink flower on them, and then I'll go through and I will fill it up with some blueberries and then lots of leaves as well. This pink has actually gone a little bit darker, which could be from either the extract or the fragrance oil, or a combination of both, but I'm still really liking the colour that it is. do my blueberries, I am going to take my gloves off because I just find that they get in the way when I'm trying to do it. Now, you can kind of see the ones that took a lot more of the mica. These were the ones I did, and I added the fragrance oil in, and they did go a lot darker than the original blueberries. When I first started making the blueberries, I was still waiting on the fragrance oil to come in, and then once I got it in, I made my last sort of batch with the fragrance oil in it. There should be enough for 3 blueberries on each of these bars, but I'm not going to be too particular about them getting a whole blueberry. I'm just going to fill it all in, and then I'll go through with that green, fill in with some leaves, maybe add in some more pink flowers if I can. Bright and colourful does that look? I know it was a really weird colour combination, especially for a blueberry soap, but I am super happy with how this is looking. I'm going to leave it set overnight, and then we'll be back in just a moment and we'll take a look at what we've got on the inside. So here it is, we are ready to cut into our blueberry one here. You can see that the pink has lost a little bit of that sort of brightness, and that would simply be a combination of the fragrance oil as well as the extract that we put in here as well. That made it go quite dark. Just making sure I've got this all nicely lined up. I did have a bit of trouble getting this one out of the mold. It's been sitting in there for about 48 hours. One of the things I have discovered with using the Nurture soap molds, and I think it's to do with the thickness of them, is that I do need to add sodium lactate. I've never really done it before, so I keep forgetting to do it, and every time I forget to do it I have trouble unmolding. But we have managed to get it out, and let's take a look and see what swirls we are going to get on the inside here. Let's wait for Ida to do her thunk. Like so. I do miss that ping, but it's so much easier and quicker cutting on Ida. Let's grab this one from out of the middle here. That is the top. How pretty is that with the little flower and all those blueberries? And that is the, wow, that's very, very swirly in there. I love it. That has come up so good. Those swirls are actually really delicate and fine, and I like those soft pops of the pink and that really bright green in there as well. Really, really happy. You can see on this side, these really bright blueberries here, they were the ones I did before I had the fragrance oil in, and then this darker one here, that is the one I did with the fragrance oil in. So I expect this to discolor just a little bit. If you follow along with me over on Instagram, I will post final pictures of these once they are ready and on the website, so you can see how much they do discolor. But I am so pleased with how that has come together there. That's a little bit of the blueberry extract, that dark spot in there, but loving those really nice wisps and curls. Once this one gets cleaned up, we'll have some really nice edges on this. So let's grab this next one here. I am just so in love with all these colors, And here is, oh, I'm just spilling tea everywhere. Here is the box just to give you a little bit of reference. It's a bit more of a greeny color, but that is to do with the fragrance oil and that blueberry extract. The blueberry extract wouldn't have kept that nice pink color because of the pH level of the soap, but I'm so super happy with how that has all come together. Really pleased about my little inspiration on that one. Let's grab one from a bit further down and see what sort of swirls we got further down here. And that pink is really bright and vibrant down there, but I do suspect as this sits and airs a bit, it's going to go into this darker pink up here. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I did the blueberry soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.